Fun fact, China just put a new rule in place that requires influencers who talk about medicine, law, finance, or education to prove they have a university degree, professional license, or specialized training in the field before posting opinions or advice online. In 2017, China passed a new cybersecurity law that required people to link their ID cards and phone numbers to their online accounts. In 2021, the government required bloggers and influencers to get government-approved credentials before posting about sensitive topics. And in July of 2025, they introduced a new voluntary system that asked people to register their ID and facial scan with the Ministry of Public Security Authenticator to get a code to access popular apps, along with the new regulation that requires influencers to have actual qualifications before making videos on certain topics. So along with their ID and facial scan, certain people also need to submit their educational transcripts as well as their work experience, which is then verified by the university registry, and their actual work experience is also checked to ensure they're in good standings. So if you went to medical school but don't hold a license to practice, or were convicted of malpractice, you will not be given the credentials to post medical advice online.
So if they're monitoring everyone who goes on there, it's like a job. Like, no, you need to talk about this.
Yep. or delete that video. Right, you got a copyright or you got a strike. Right. Nah, because what you said.
We ain't telling people that.
You bucking the system. Right.
Or what they might not even say that. You might.
Right. You might be disappeared. Right.
It might be over. Get no warnings.
Their strike system is different.
Exactly. What up, Tech fam? This is Johnny Tech. I'm here with my guy.
What up, Tech? What's going on?
This is Just My Tech Sense, where we talk tech, finance, and a little bit of lifestyle. I thought you was about to start singing that Young Thug for a second. Oh, no, don't do it.
No.
Please don't. Please.
A round of applause for consistency. Consistency is key. Let's roll.
Let's do it, man.
Interesting video, huh?
Very, very interesting. You think China, listen, I'm just going to say it. China might be on point. They might be on to something. What you think?
They might be on to something, but they might have gone a little too far. They might have gone facial recrecognition.
Can China go too far?
Facial recognition? For American standards, absolutely. Facial recognition.
Standards,
yeah. No. Well, that's where we at. That's true. That's the standpoint we talk from. So, I think that what they are doing is valid, right? Mm-hmm. I think that a lot of the information you should be credentialed or certified to actually put out, especially because you're influencing people, right? So from that standpoint, I can stand behind that.
Right. I agree with you. My brain is going like this right now, so many different directions. Just watching a video like that, because partly I'm saying, like, for American standards, that sounds insane for them to be doing all those things. Like, you have to have requirements. You saying your influencers, they have to be following these instructions to even get on there and say something. Like, you can't give financial advice unless you have the credentials, which honestly I think is a great thing. It's like, hey, you can't give false information out to our people that's on this app.
Yeah, well, I think there's a thin line between regulation and censorship, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like if you have content that's coming from somebody who's certified, that's great. At the same time, I think a lot of the content that has been impactful is from content creators who've made mistakes.
Right.
Whether it's they're in debt or they've done things the wrong way, and they're showing people, kind of their mistakes and how they would have done things differently, right? And I think if you remove that part of it, right, and you're just hearing instruction all day long, then it doesn't hit you as much as somebody who's relatable that's been in your.
Can we say that?
What do you mean?
I'm starting to go to. I'm thinking about America versus China competitively, right? And how they do things. So as far as what we see on social media every day, depending on what your algorithm looks like, and even if it's not partly of your algorithm, you're going to see there's almost nothing you won't see on today's platforms, right? That's in America, but over there they're monitoring what they're saying. You're getting engineering, you're getting information from the top. Medical. Even if they said if you have malpractice, you can't even speak on it, right? So on one end, it's like, okay, I just think they're completely controlling the narrative of what's going on in their country. Like, I don't want them doing it in America, but at the same time, I feel like for what their young people may be seeing, what all their people are seeing is going to be what they want them to see, and it's going to be positive for what they want them to be. So like they might have like I know on TikTok there's a section where you have STEM. That might be all they see on theirs, but like in America you're seeing all type of stuff. So I'm thinking the regulation might be making them better citizens.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if it's making them better citizens. It might keep people in line and have less opinions on things because they're not exposed to as much.
That's true,
right?
too.
So, I mean, I think there's that. I think there might not be the necessity to have these people that are in debt, that are talking about their massive amounts of
Right.
debt if we as a people didn't have social media that pushed constantly this lifestyle that you needed to have these things, this fear of missing out on these things that is constantly in your face, right? So it's
Right.
like if you didn't have that, then maybe you wouldn't need this person saying, hey, here's my mistake when I put $50,000 on my credit card. Now I'm in all kinds of trouble with with the bank or whatever. So that might cancel that out. At the same time, I think creativity flourishes because of these things. It's like, yeah, there's scamming going on. There's these kind of things going on too. At the
High
same
level
time.
of ignorance.
Yeah. Misinformation. I mean, there's a lot of bad that comes with freedom sometimes, right? But at the same time, you have the ability to be free and to make these choices and to not be censored, right? When it's not directly having a negative influence. So I think from that standpoint, there are applications that, again, if we wanted them, if we wanted to hear about STEM all day long, I'm sure you can find that somewhere, right? There's a website. I'm sure there's a website, or it might not be as cool, right? It may not be as.
It's probably not, but they're making sure, like, hey, you gonna like this, Just like, I mean, I think that psychology has kind of been figured out, right? If you on the radio, you hear a song one time, you're like, oh, I don't like that song.
Yeah.
Hear it 3 more times, it ain't that bad. They same thing. So maybe over there, they're like, we're gonna talk about these same things. That's all you're gonna see, and you're gonna like it eventually.
Yeah. Right. That programming is. I agree with that. Like that programming is that way, and it trends towards, let's say, STEM. Our programming, when it comes to, let's say, rap or hip hop, like. Again, what are we talking about? And a lot of that programming comes from the media, right? It's like there are plenty of songs that don't talk about crime and women and all these things, but they're not being pushed, right? Because again, like that programming is not happening. What's being pushed is, again, the lifestyle.
So are you saying it's the opposite programming? Or do you think it's a natural selection?
No, I think it's just programming.
Right.
And I think, again, like it works towards our capitalistic society, right? When we start talking about all the things that are these wants that we don't necessarily need, right? That are just pushed on you all the time. You're like, I need this car, I need this house, I need this, because you're constantly seeing that, and that's what's highlighted in your, For You page or whatever.
And what you're saying. So I said my brain was spinning, right?
Yeah.
So another thing, as watching this video that came to mind, was saying, like, because I was just went to do a comparison to China. That sounds like, because I think that what they're doing, I think is also leaves for a high level of propaganda to come from their government, because their government is basically putting out whatever they want you to. They can say anything, you're gonna believe it. So if you don't trust the government, you would hate that. But if you believe everything they say, it's great for you. And then some of the stuff is probably not all that bad. But then I was like, America, we don't do that. It's free. But I was like, how do we know they're not doing that already?
How do we know who's not doing what already?
How do we know there's not like facial recognition and some of those same things that we're just that they're probably doing those same things, but doing it, with a mask on.
I mean, is that rhetorical, or you gotta?
My opinion is, I think.
Okay, Johnny does that all the time. He asks me these questions, like I'm gonna guess what it is that's on his mind. I don't know. So he has a point that he wants to say. Say the point, man. Just say the point.
Hey, man, I'm trying to see what you think, man. I'm trying to pick your brain. But my opinion is based. I'm thinking, as I said, my mind was spinning. I'm saying, well, China's doing it. America has the same technology. They have the same smart people. You know, how do we know they're not already doing those same things, but just masking it as something else? So I'm saying like I'm looking at it like, oh, China's doing a great thing, but we had all this freedom over here to do what we want to do. But how do we actually know that the same applications that we're using, the same things that they're doing, they have, since we're knowing there's the ability for these things to be done. So if there's the ability that China can do it, who's to say that we know America has the ability to do it, but who's to say that they're not doing it? We may just not know. Yeah,
I mean, there's plenty that we don't know.
Right.
So I do think that some of it is extreme, though. At the same time, they said voluntary as far as like the facial recognition, but I still think that any kind of biometrics that you're putting into a database
exactly
is extreme, and I would steer away from that.
It's too late now, man.
But that's true.
Yeah.
I mean that's very true. I mean, you look at like passphrases, you look at logging into your system again, like that scan, it's going somewhere, right? It's not just held in your computer.
Exactly.
Right. So
I mean, I'm just saying, man, like we thinking like, oh, everything is all good. It's not like China over here, but they just like, I feel like if someone ever came out and was like, hey, this is what's going on, we all be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked, but a lot of people.
Well, we're all programmed, right? I mean, it's all programming.
Are you happier?
At the end of the day, it's about propaganda and what you want your populace to, how you want them to move, whether it's division, right? Because right now in America, there's division,
right?
And there's a lot of misinformation. So what's true, right? We truly don't know what is true unless we don't know.
So ignorance is bliss right now.
If it doesn't affect you,
right?
I mean, if it doesn't affect your day to day, then sure, ignorance is bliss, right? You continue with life. You don't think about it. Nobody brings it to your attention.
Right.
You don't care. You're not stressed about it. But if it hits home, right, then it's different, right?
Yeah.
So
I would agree. I was just like looking at the video. I was like, because my mind went like, oh wow, that's insane that they have that many restraints, and I think some of it was good, but at the same time, I was like, I just had that flip. It's like, okay, it could be the same thing going on here.
Yeah.
But I was like, I think that the good part about it, I'm on the side of like ignorance is bliss. Like keep living your life, enjoy.
Yeah.
Don't over worry about it. But I mean, it could be happening. So.
Yeah, but how many people, when you think about it, like you think about, you have these financial channels, and then you have, even us reacting to like, bad financial advice or, whatever. Like how many people are actually doing like what some of these people are advising them to do, which is, it might be corrupt. It might be bad financial advice that could land them in jail.
Right.
Right. But it's because they heard this on TikTok. Well, on TikTok, well, on IG, well, on Bookface, I have seen that this is the way to do my taxes.
Right.
Well, that's going to land you in jail.
Right.
Yeah. But the person talking, it's like.
There's a lot of. So what China's doing, it will be weeding those people out. It's like you got some guys on there talking about, oh, go to Navy Federal and do this.
Right. Right,
like,
go to the ATM, right, and get free money.
Exactly,
it ain't free money.
So China's saying that's not happening here.
It's not right. They're putting in preventative measures in order to mitigate that.
Right.
But again, like I just don't know if I believe that it's in the goodness for the people.
No, listen. I don't believe China is doing that because they think that they're doing it for control. That's 100%. That's my opinion. That's what I believe they're doing.
Yeah.
So what I would say is great about America is like technically, I'm a cybersecurity expert. So we talk finance on some things. When I mention it, I'm gonna base it on personal experience and things like that.
Yeah.
But in China, they're like, bro, where's your
right? You couldn't talk it.
You're not a financial advisor.
You couldn't talk it.
We don't want to hear about your student loans.
Right.
So I disagree with that portion of it because I think I have some valuable information. I could just tell you my experiences. Don't do this. Don't do that. But they're like, we don't.
Right. And that's real life experience. That's not book experience, right? It's like being in tech. It's like, yeah, but do you have experience? Right. I know what you read in the book, but in real life, this is what happens. And and if this is true, then in China, you wouldn't be able to give that kind of guidance.
Yeah, you wouldn't be online. They like, nah. You need to work. It sounds like you need to work for them. You need to have ID. got to put your information in there. It sounds like they just hiring people to go on on their social media platforms and whatever else.
And some of it too, when you think about it, some of it's actually, it is control, right? Because what if the system wasn't meant for you? Right. And all the books and everything says, hey, this is the way that it needs to go. But the system isn't built for you. Versus like in America, this kind of gives you the ability to fight. I think about student loans.
Right.
To me, being uneducated when I was 17 about student loans, like this was just the way that things were.
Right.
You got your student loans, you go into debt, and you live with that debt for the rest of your life.
Right.
And you're indebted to the government. And you work forever, right? And that's the system. But now it's being broken, right? Because people are speaking out.
Right.
But if you don't have people speaking out, let's say like in, potentially China about, yo, you don't need to have student loans.
Right.
I know this is the system, but you don't need to have student loans.
Right. You can go out of it.
You can go a different way about it, but you don't have the credentials. You can't talk about it.
Right.
So again, like
that's just a way to keep people off the platform.
Right.
And it also sounds like if we're going to go that direction, it sounds like maybe you do have the credentials. And it was like, what are you going to talk about with
right.
So if they're monitoring everyone who goes on there, it's like a job like, no, you need to talk about this.
Yep. or delete that video, right? You got a copyright or you got a strike, right?
Right.
Nah, because what you said,
we ain't telling people that.
You bucking the system. Right.
Or they might not even say that. You might.
Right. You might be disappeared. Right.
It might be over. Get no warnings.
Their strike system is different.
Exactly. That's great. And again, real strikes.
Right.
Get banned for real. Twitter jail. Nah, it's real jail.
Right.
Woo. Nah, that's crazy.
All right.
But
anyways, let's wrap this up, man. Yeah. Let's wrap it up.
Well, we want to get your thoughts on that. What do you think about China and all its regulations for social media platforms? Should America do it?
We're going to say no. All right. So this is Just My Tech Sense. I'm Will Does Tech.
Johnnie Tech.
And we'll talk to y'all later.
Out.